Okay, see, so this is the facade of the shop, and the new door which leads up to the apartments. New windows we installed between George and Adrian. We got them all done over the last 2 summers. So we walk across the road. Hope you can hear me. In through the shop door. And this is the ground floor. This is not a great priority this year to get much done here, but you can see it's needs some tidying up, shall we say. One of the reasons there's a lot of stuff down here is because we've been working on the top 2 floors and we got all the stuff out of the way. So I'll just show you these windows on the inside. You can see we were going to retain these shop windows, just preserve them somehow. But you can see that we've put in a mould there, or a frame, where a double pane glass goes in, and it's a removable piece of glass. And we haven't got it yet, but we'll get it. You can see also a fireplace which we've created, and there's a pellet burner going in there. Okay, come around this way. This is some of the plaster, and that was a cavity that Adrian created. It's gorgeous. Not quite sure what we're going to put in there, probably just a couple of shelves. This is a cellar door which leads down to the cellar, obviously. And if you've got the skills, we might replace that with a makeshift oak one. So coming up the stairwell, you can see we've got one of these beams left. You can also see that wall in the background, which is finished. And George did, John Angel from Wellington did that. It goes right to the very roof. You'll see it as we walk up. It's just gorgeous. So I'm going to show you the stairs as we go up. I hope. So these are the stairs that need redoing. And Pauline's got all sorts of methods that she's going to try. This is the, I don't know what you call that, the wall on the other side of the bath. The bathroom's on the other side of this wall, and that needs finishing, obviously. Then we've got the ceiling of the staircase, which Adrian has chipped away at because he was going to do it up to there. Here's the rest of these stairs coming up to the landing on the first floor or the second floor, whichever way, the second level. Try not to trip over. Here's the rest of John's wall, well, not the rest of it, but the next stage of it. And I'm going to come down. This is one of the original windows which we've decided to keep. It needs something done to that. Or maybe nothing. And more beams. That's the ceiling we're looking at. And I'll come down to the floor now. So here's the sliding drop saw, which I've used for about half an hour. It's brand new. So into the bathroom. This is where you're going to be. And see, George has done all these beams properly. And here's the tiles. Hold it still. There's also going here, not the hand basin. That's going there on that side. but there's a glass frame which is downstairs, we've got it, which is going to be installed as a shower barrier. And there's the waterproofing that's been done twice actually, because George didn't trust it and Adrian did it beautifully. But anyway, this has got a finished floor, so it's all been protected. It's polished wood. Sliding pocket door, if you can see it, which is all, and a little shelf up there which Adrian created to let the steam out. So this is the bedroom. Okay, so I've come from there, bathroom's on my right, and into the bedroom. This is the bedroom on the second floor. Panning from standing at the door, and you can see George's workspace there where he had a little desk and his angle grinder. Still got all the blades, and around to the wall, and you can see the kids have been drawing on the wall. But this wall will need to be plastered and painted. Now the other thing that the New Zealanders don't understand is that plastering doesn't have to be absolutely, you know, finished, perfectly finished here in France. And in fact, a rough plaster finish is quite acceptable in some places. We've got these beautiful beams throughout holding the whole place together. And excuse me, you can see I've cleaned one, and it took me about, well, half an hour really, but I haven't been able to get in this bedroom until recently because I've cleaned up all the tiles and got them out of the way. Can't show you all that, but one of the features with these beams, if you're interested, is that we have there a little bit of twisting, but they've all been dowelled into that oak above. So the plan was to get no twisting. And this is the skill of Adrian. If you look at this beam, that rip cut, an angled rip cut, which he only had a 60mm skill saw and a handsaw to do, and it had to be done up there. So it was a pretty clever guy. Here's the tiles, and Pauline's chosen all those, and George went with us, so supposedly we've got enough. Mosaics and all sorts. I don't even know what's in there. There's also a lot of other tiles in the cellar, and I need to go through those too. Pots of paint. We did have a French guy come and quote, or he didn't give us a quote, actually come and looked. Haven't heard from him again, and he said we'd need one more pot of paint. Now, how the hell he knew that in 5 minutes, I'll never know. Anyway, back out the door, down the landing. Turn the light off. This is a piece of, I don't know what you call it, but it's your tile. You put tiles on top of it, and that's going to be what you're going to make the hand basin surround out of. Pauline's got it all sorted. Back up, looking down. Second floor, walking up the landing again. We come to this famous toilet, which is pretty well finished. Maybe just paint the door somehow. It's all good though. Maybe some plaster in that gap where the rocks stick out. And you can see, if Adrian's put a little hand basin in here and a window. He's done a really good job in here. It's remarkable really. If you look at the first photos on that Campbell Live, you can see, do something about that drop hole. So this is walking up to the top of the to the top floor. I should give you a view looking back down, but these are the steps that need fixing or finishing. I'm on the top now. Here's the rest of the famous wall. It's beautiful. John really took his time and got it right. And one of the things he worked with was plaster, well not plaster, but the lime mix he used, I don't know, what do you call it, the mud, the stuff. Dried off very quickly. So he had to be only mixing little bits at a time. He's looking back down, you can see we made this barrier here, Velux window. The painting's finished from there down. Okay, so there's the view back down to the toilet, and this is Pauline's workspace. This is supposedly all finished, although in places we've got a little bit of water coming through, so we might, I don't know what we can do about that. The roof's finished, the roof's been done completely except for the spouting. But this is where Pauline does her work from, and it's a very useful little workspace. In time, you can see George actually did this, but we had a very ugly, unfinished, what do you call it, a top plate there. It was unfinished to the ceiling, and we've created these lovely Velux windows. They're actually too low to be legal, but those bloody New Zealand builders didn't do what we asked, if we get asked about it. And so this is going to be where the kitchen goes. It's all properly wired, and I mean, there's a solid oak bench going along there, which we haven't bought yet. And that's where the sink will be, over there by that, under that Velux. It's all plumbed for it. And then you can see stuff for an oven, lots of power points, and a wonderful little piece of oak to finish it off with. And George, he did a good enough job, but he only had one piece and he was rushing. So there's a couple of things which no one else will notice really, but we'll try and glue over somewhere. He's done a really good job of it though. It was under pressure. And there's other pieces here which we're saving. They were bought, they're from the same piece of wood, and they're for the finishings between there and immediately on my left. To give a finishing between the painted surface there and the painted surface down there. There'll be a piece of oak. You've got one chance to cut it straight. So come in, I'll show you Pauline's workspace, which is, she's in Belgium so I can say it, but we made that desk out of some of the oak that was left over, not that there was much. And that same oak, like I'm not much of a skillman, but we didn't do too bad. And that same oak is going to be on the floor in here. You can see I've just been measuring it up. I'm just about to order it and hopefully have this done before you get here. On the top floor anyway. Maybe not in the bedroom, but we'll order it and ready to go. But that same oak is supposedly going down all the way. Anyway, if you look at standing at the stairwell, if you look at what we achieved and look at the finish, well, this is all just pure white. It's a matte finish around to the beam and down, and it gives it a real good airy feeling of air, I mean a light feeling. And one of the things, this is all white at the back, it's because Pauline does a lot of video conferencing, and so all they see on the video is a white framework or white background. I'll show you the view out the window if I open the window. That's the Mary, and across to the sports fields, which you can't actually see, and the parks of Chevreuse. So this was the view we really wanted to capture right from the very start, and we've done it as best we possibly can because we couldn't get the Velux window any lower and it would be dangerous, and we weren't allowed the other Velux windows that open right out. So that's it really. Come through and just show you these windows when the light gets right. These windows are very low, so there's the ground, and I think I'm going to run out of battery. 15 minutes of video, it's pretty cool. What's happened to my light meter? It's all gone dark. Oh well, let's go back and see if I can get it onto the Mac somehow. 15 minutes.